Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yeah, we're painting again, but this time we are in Photoshop. Yep, we're in Photoshop, and the reason we're in Photoshop is because I'm using it to paint. So I'm using a UG screen and one of these pens. But obviously there are better equipment out there. There's Wacom tablets and there's iPads and Surface Pros and all sorts that you can use. But anyway, so I'm in Photoshop and I am using a painting that I did in plein air as my palette. So I go in to the actually, let's go back in time. So when I use Photoshop for painting, I create a new one. Oh, for printing out, you want that on 300, and then whatever size you want, basically. I'm going to change this one because I obviously have left it on that. There we go. And the image size is getting bigger. It's getting bigger, right. And let's get it smaller again. In fact, that might be better. So yeah. So I'm using that'll be why I had the image size smaller, because of recording as well. There's going to be problems. My computer, it's going to crash. So anyway, when you're doing images for printing, you want it on 300 basically. But this, I'm just really practicing, and I'm just picking up colours and then using my old painting that I did out in the woods, and I'm just going to take some of the colours from it and use them. Use the colours, and I'm using this brush. It has like a texture to it, but I don't want to go too much into brushes. But I'm using a Damn Keeper brush that I got, Tonko House brushes. But there's so many built-in brushes that, you know, and you can make your own brushes. So just use whatever brush that you want if you're using Photoshop, or if you're using something else. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what you're using? So yeah, I've been using Photoshop for a bit because I'm learning more about creating picture books, and a lot of, if you didn't know, a lot of illustrations these days in books and things are done using Photoshop. And the reason is, when you're doing your illustrations, you've got to send them off, and they have a look at them and they go, well, I like it, but can you change this, can you change that, can you do this slightly different, can you do a bit of this? And you can do all that if you've got a digital copy of it, because if you haven't, it's a lot harder, isn't it? It's a lot harder to make changes to pictures if you can't change it digitally, because otherwise you're repainting the whole thing, aren't you? And that's not easy. So yeah, so I've been doing a lot more in the digital realm. But that's not the reason why I haven't made a video recently. I've done all that on one layer, look. So I'm making another layer. I don't use many layers either, really. Sometimes I do my whole digital painting on one layer. Because I paint like a painter. That's the navigator screen I use to see it smaller. So when I've zoomed in, say you've zoomed right in and you're working on a few leaves, if you have the navigator on, then you can see it. And then you can also go wee. And you can see whereabouts you are as well, look, and move it around, which is fun. I can make that smaller, I think. Move it out of the way a bit. Whoops, that's better. So yeah, I tend to only have layers on, brushes on, the navigator on, and my colours. That's all I use on Photoshop, really. I don't. If I do use something else, it's very rare. For painting, I just use that. Very bog standard, really. Let's put this tree in, because I won't mind that tree. And I really like the way I painted that tree, to be honest. I must have been feeling good that day when I was out there, because I did a good job there. So why is this bit here? I don't really want that bit there anymore. Let's get that nice deep green there. Maybe I'll leave a slip of it. Yeah, so I'm just sketching, really. This is quite a good way of designing paintings as well, using this, because you can design and then print it out and then paint it. It's a really good tool, is Photoshop. I think it's really good for teachers as well, because if you're teaching and you need to do a critique, don't want critiques. They just rip my paintings apart. They just tell me how rubbish I am. Yeah, if you want a critique of somebody and say, oh, can you have a look at my picture? Then they'll happily have a look at it and happily rip it apart. But what you want them to do is do a paint over and show by actually painting over your painting, and then they can actually show you exactly what will make it better. And that's what you need, isn't it? Sometimes you need, and I don't like this all the time, because I've seen art teachers like rip someone's brush off them and repaint their painting for them right while they're sat there. I mean, I don't really like that so much. I mean, I've had that happen to me actually once, and I didn't particularly like that. I don't want someone to rip my brush out of my hand and start painting it for me. But if it's something like say it was this painting, and they said, oh well, there's not enough I don't know, lighting. The lighting's wrong or something. I don't know what they would say. And you go, oh, well, what do you mean? And then they would literally paint in the lighting for you. I'm just playing around there, just putting in different branches, giving it a bit more, always a bit more. You can actually see a few branches behind a main tree trunks, because there is actually loads of loads of them there. It's funny because when you've been somewhere painting it plein air, you can use your imagination a bit more when you're painting it like this. The benefit of real painting. Real experience. It's good to get a bit of the real experience, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm using my old painting for colour for now, but you can change your mind, you know, and make changes to your colour palette and everything. You can do anything you like. Like, for instance, maybe I want a different, warmer colour than what I originally had. Like that, and I can just put it in. So just zoom out of that again to remind myself. I do like the way these, oops, I like the way that these so I'll push some of this back using some of this green. There was like a lot of different shades of green. Lots of different shades of green in amongst this. Lots of different shades. Remember to, if you're painting, just make sure you sit back and have a look. Or if you're using the computer, you can do this. That's your version of sitting back having a look. Or you just look at the navigator picture and have a look at that. Maybe I'll work on another layer. Whoops, another layer, happy with that. And then let's do some more of this. I'm doing this as a bulk load of colour. You know, if you was using a brush, maybe you would do like lots of like little dots like this as you're doing it. Smaller. Because there's actually stuff coming in front of that as well. Just go for a bigger brush just to mass it in. You can always work on your detail afterwards, can't you? Quite like that. Let's get some of these ones in. It's on a bit more of that dark. And then there's 3. See, I've lengthened the canvas a bit to the original. Whoop. One there. Maybe it's there. One next to it, wasn't there? I'll go a tiny bit bigger. One next to it. And one at an angle. Like that. I always think about when I've been in the woods and you see so many like little sticks and twigs everywhere. Get them growing up, growing down, growing sideways, everywhere you can think of. You even get, I've seen some like this, where they grow up the tree like that. Really strange. But you can do as many branches as you want, because honestly, I couldn't believe it. I think if you've never been out there plein air painting, if you've never done it, it's a real eye-opener. It's an eye-opener more of how much is there, how much you can, how many, well, like branches for instance, how many there is. Let's have a look at some of this. We've got like this bluey green down here. Let's put some of that in there. Some of it there as well. So we're not doing an exact replica of the first painting, we're changing it. Having fun with it. More bit of dark in amongst there. The other colour for the tree. Something like that. I quite like that actually. I quite like the lightness of this compared to this. Quite like it. I'll get some of that as well, just to tone down some of it. Of course, these pens and things, they're pressure sensitive, so you can, the heavier you are, the more colour comes off, and then tell you one of the problems I had with using the likes of Photoshop is I got so confused with the best brush to use. Which I find really amusing now, because I mean, a lot of the brushes are really good and there's so many of them, and eventually I just started to think, oh well, I'll just use this one brush. But you can do anything with any of the brushes really. I don't think what brush you use is that important, but I do like brushes with a bit of texture on them. How contradictive of me. So I'm just throwing a bit of blue in there, here and there. So I think I'm going to start putting lighter leaves in now. I think I used I can use some of this. Put in a few leaves with this, and then we'll go in lighter. Maybe I want something in front of these, yeah. Let some of these branches still show through though. Thinking about the branches. When you're putting your leaves in, you're thinking about the way the branches are, the way the leaves are, the way they kind of fall And then thinking about like the way the light is hitting things as well. So much to think about, isn't there, when you're painting? But the more you do it, the better it is. Yeah, so recently I had a house check. Unfortunately, I don't own my own house, so I have to abide by some rules. And one of the rules is, if you have loads of canvases everywhere, they're not very happy. And I had a stack of canvases everywhere, and thought, okay. Because of my output of painting became so great, I had too many canvases everywhere, and it became a what they call a fire risk. So I can do painting after painting on the computer, and it won't be a fire risk, because I can just save it and close down, and no worries. But yeah, I've not made any videos for a while because one of the reasons was I had horrendous toothache. It was horrendous, and I went to the dentist to get it sorted, and eventually they fixed it, and the filling that they put in broke, and then I had it back. I mean, it was so bad I couldn't sleep, and it was the worst toothache I've ever had. It was horrendous. So it kind of put me off making videos because I was just in pain all the time. And then I was like, oh god, how am I going to get started again now? Now I had the issue with having to work out where to put my easel and stuff. I'm considering using the garage as an art space, because then they wouldn't say anything, because they never look in the garage when they come to check on me. Because they do like a house inspection, check on your living area and stuff, but they wouldn't check on me in there. So I might do that. I don't know. I'm enjoying this as well. I do enjoy doing this. So, what have we got going? What I want some sort of green. Let's have a look at that green. Yeah, I was thinking that. Maybe with a touch more yellow in it. So you can drag this up and down, and it's your way of mixing colour. A way of mixing colour without mixing, yeah. Let's put in a bit of this green, just to change the flavour a little bit. A bit of fresh growth. Try and capture some of that green that I did in the painting. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. That's probably better. It's slightly duller. Yeah, quite like that. some of this movement. Yeah, you can see how you can develop something quite quick. I say quite quick, I don't know how long I've been doing this for. I'm going to change the colour a bit more to a duller, yeah, something like that. Let's see what that looks like. I remember when I was painting out here, and there was an amazing amount of shapes that I liked. Okay, something like that. Go a little bit lighter, and we'll put in a few undergrowth kind of leaves on top of that. So you're kind of just doing a two-tone kind of thing there. Something like that. I've got a branch. I want a branch to go like there. Just to get that. Something like that. Something like that. That was my first undo of the day. Yeah. Control Z is your undo button. Very popular in the digital world. But then again, it's quite popular to want to rub something out in the traditional world, so well, it is for me. So I'm quite liking this so far. There's something more in the original, mind you, around this. I think it needs a bit more around there, shape-wise. Don't really like that. I think I blocked in too much there. Let's get rid of it. I just wanted to bring more into it, but sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, let's look at that. That looks quite good. Yeah. Now, what do I want to do? I want to do something at the bottom part here, and it was lots of little stringy things. I might do another layer for this bit. there's a lot of these sort of things. I actually went here after I painted it, because I thought, oh, well, I'll do another angle, and it was all underwater. I was like, oh, okay, I won't repaint it then. A few like that, and then we had different colour. This, a few a bit lighter. Well, that is light. That's too light, isn't it? Don't want this to be the lightest bit, really. So there are Photoshop brushes that probably do this all in one go as well. So don't feel like you have to paint like me, because there's so many ways that you can make paintings on Photoshop better than this, but because I'm still quite traditional in my approach and stuff, I still tend to use traditional methods. Might go a bit darker than that. It's interesting. So things change as you're painting. Get a few of these in. I always find like things always change when I'm doing pictures. I get different ideas as I'm going, and I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be quite good, and then just go along with it. It's like I think my pen has run out of steam. Yeah, my pen has run out of steam, so I think I'll sign this one, and or have a look at it. I tend to do stuff like this, get in the settings and just have a look at it like that. But yeah, we'll take that away, and then we've got our sketch anyway. I think the one thing that I probably would do, I'm gonna have to do it with my mouse now. So I'd probably darken things a bit, and then I'd bring some of it out using my mouse. Get some of these bits a bit lighter, just so it looks like there's some sunshine hitting some areas. Bring out a few areas that You know what it's like in the woods though, you get all kinds of areas that are lighter and darker. It's a lot easier with a pen though, it's more difficult with this. So anyway, I'm going to do some more on Photoshop because I've been using it quite a lot and I'm getting a bit better at it. I'm no expert really, not really, but I'm getting better and it might help some people. So I haven't really got that many videos on digital painting, so it'd be good to add a few to the world of digital art. Anyway, I'll call this one finished, and I'll put myself a little JB there. Whoops, blip. Just put it there. So thanks very much for watching this one. It got a bit cut a bit short because my pen has either ran out of battery or I've just destroyed it. But I hope it gives you an idea of how to paint digitally, or just something that you enjoyed listening to. But I'm going to do more videos on this process, and so hopefully I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.